You know, I've seen that video perhaps a dozen times by now as it was being created, and even if its roughest form, it tells the moving story. What you saw there was a collaborative work that the Federation enabled to pull our community together, to serve our region in a moment of crisis and concern. It included the development of actionable plans over weeks and months and responsible stewardship to secure not only Chesed Shalem, but all of our cemeteries in the region. In short, the mobilization reflected a binding commitment from each of us to one another, to build a decent society and a St. Louis Jewish community in which we can all take tremendous pride. Now, the American public sphere is supported by taxes and leadership through formal elections. Our Jewish public sphere depends instead on the vision, commitment, leadership, and investment of resources from individuals whose names are etched in the history of our community, from even before the name Millstone was imprinted on the campus, and that will live on even beyond the legacy that the name Steinberg now and will in our future represent. And so to conclude, I want to say thank you to so many whose investments of time and resources sustain our organization and that entire St. Louis public sphere. A readiness that ennobles us to rise above and create the conditions for Jewish flourishing. That helps us understand that the fate of Israel is our fate, and that the responsibility to one another extends well beyond the comforts of our homes. That connects us to the Jewish people around the world and inspires us to engage in our history, tradition, culture, and religion as part of a life well lived. These things don't just happen, so I want to specify just a few people. To begin with, my wife, Miggy Greenberg, and my mother, Beverly Rayfeld, who are inevitably here and behind the scenes supporting it. And let me personally thank the staff of the Jewish Federation for your tireless work, your steadfast commitment, and your willingness to go well beyond what is merely expected to make this community a place we can take deep pride in. If you're part of the staff, would you please rise and accept our gratitude as a community? And so many of them are not even in the room right now. One individual in particular that I have to name, it's not my COO or my CPO or my marketing director or my senior team. It's the one person that makes sure that I am where I have to be, and the one person that makes sure that you have access, or not, to get in and see me in a timely way. Clayton, would you please rise? Clayton Merritt, my assistant. Let me thank each of you here who's given your financial resources to us every year to enable the Federation to be a responsive convener and creator of the Jewish public sphere. And to that end, this year I have to especially thank Ken and Nancy Kransberg. Where are you? I saw you before. You're right there. And Michael and Carol Steinberg. The Kransberg and Steinberg matches are helping introduce hundreds of new donors to our organization and inspire thousands of current donors like all of you, or at least most of you, to step up to the next giving level as a way to honor the legacy of Tom Green, something we'll do in just a moment. By sustaining the foundation of our organization, you are leaving your legacy, Ken, Nancy, Carol, Michael, for our community for the years to come. So thank you so very much. And finally, I want to thank the volunteer leadership, particularly the officers with whom I've had the distinct pleasure of working this past year. With a new election comes new board leadership, and to Jerry Greiman, thank you for the vision and leadership that has produced a draft of a strategic plan that you will all have a chance to give feedback to before it's approved at the end of the year. It will significantly move our community forward and reinforce the very values at the heart of our public sphere. And finally, to Harvey Wallace. I'd like to ask that you come up and join me for just a moment. 2 years ago, I shared with you, in front of other people, what Benjamin Franklin's observation at the founding of the American Republic. Benjamin Franklin told those gathered, he said, well, this is a republic if you can keep it. And he famously said that, he was quoted as saying that democracies get the kind of leadership they deserve. Excuse me. I suggest when you first took office that I believe a truly great nonprofit organization like the Jewish Federation of St. Louis gets the kind of leadership they need for the time. As you eloquently described in your remarks, your leadership has ensured that even as we shift to a community organization, we don't forget the foundation of financial resource development that we need in order to create and maintain a thriving community. And your early recognition that the security of our community must be paramount to our work provided the necessary leadership our organization needed for the community at this particular moment. On behalf of the organization, we want to present you with a small, actually it's a kind of larger token, but I need the token, of our appreciation for your service. A way to remember these 2 years together. If you hold that up. And on behalf of me personally, let me just say this has been one hell of a ride. But thank you. It has been a real pleasure to partner together to learn from your leadership as we have responded to the challenges of the last 2 years. Thank you so very much for your service.
Thank you. Thank you all.